Hello, my name is Imelda and welcome to the third edition of Project L.O.V.E. In this video, we'll learn about the Philippines transportation and some useful vocabulary related to it. Transportation in the Philippines varies from cities and provinces. For example, when you go to Manila, you will see different kinds of public transportation. From tricycles, jeepneys, buses, taxis, and trains. However, in other provinces, they might have only one or two of these. You may already be wondering what tricycles and jeepneys are, so go ahead and keep watching. And by the way, if you're traveling by jeepneys, especially in Manila, you may need this. First, let's talk about the jeepney, which I think is the most common form of transportation in the Philippines and also the cheapest. They come in different designs and colors. It will cost you just about 10 to 15 pesos for a 10-kilometer trip. If you're wondering how you will pay for the ride, just pass your fare to the next person sitting beside you, and they will pass it on to the next person until it reaches the driver. Remember, you just have to say, "Bayad po." Bayad means payment, and saying "Bayad po" is the equivalent of saying, "Here's my payment."
Bayad po. Bayad po.
And when you arrive at your destination, simply say, "Para po,"
Para po.
loud enough for the driver to hear you. Next is the bus, which is commonly used in long trips from one province to another. We have two types of buses, and the fare also differs greatly. We have the air-conditioned bus, which is of course the most comfortable to use in a warm country, but it is also a bit pricey compared to the other type, which is the ordinary bus, as we popularly call them. For example, an 8-kilometer trip may only cost you 10 to 15 pesos on an ordinary bus, but it would cost you 50 pesos when you ride on an air-conditioned one. Let me tell you something interesting about Philippine buses. Our buses have conductors who give you a ticket and receive your fare. They act as the driver's assistant. Third is the taxi, which is commonly seen in cities like Manila and Cebu City. Just a tip when using a taxi in the Philippines, especially in the metropolis. Make sure to ask the driver for the meter because some will just make a deal with their passengers. By doing so, you'd be able to avoid being scammed. We also have trains, but they only operate in Manila. We have the MRT and LRT. Did you know that the Philippines is the first to have the metro system in Southeast Asia? Now you know. For the fare, the first two stations cost only 13 pesos, and from end to end will cost only 24 pesos. Currently, more railways that could reach even outside Manila are being developed. Lastly, let me tell you about the tricycle. Tricycles are very common forms of transportation in the countryside, including where see anyone is. 2 or 3 people can ride inside the cab and one behind the driver. However, it would be a bit uncomfortable for tall people as the cab is low. That's why sometimes some people can even ride on top of it. If you do that though, please be careful. Fun fact, we have what we call the tricycle capital of the Philippines, which is Cabanatuan City, because there are more than 80,000 registered tricycles. There you are, these are the most common modes of transportation in the Philippines. Which is your favorite? Which one would you like to try? Tell us about it. Thank you very much for joining me today. See you next time.